G'day from Monaco, home to the rich and the famous, and we're here for a car race. Welcome to the smallest paddock of the 2024 season. This is Monaco. It is so tight in here. If we ever got an 11th team, if Andretti gets his team in, I don't know where he's going to put their motorhome. Maybe you have to move Pirelli out, but I don't think they'll be too happy about that. This is the area that butts up straight against the Monaco harbour out here, separated by this fence. Along here are the motorhomes for 9 F1 teams. One's not there. I'll tell you about that in a second. Pirelli and F1 has their own facility. What is the one that's not in here? This one, the Red Bull Energy Station, and it is huge. They actually build this in Italy and then float it into place here. If you are a Red Bull or B-Carb driver, you'll have to come out here where general public can stand, because this is actually a jetty that goes out here to a point where a lot of the drivers roll up in their boats. Not that they own them, but the team provides them. Already tenders are rolling up here at the Red Bull Energy Station. This is where 4 of the drivers at least will roll up, and not anyone can use that. That is only for Red Bull's use. But if you come out here, this is a general use dock. And some monster boats behind me here. I mentioned yesterday in my video that there's probably over $1 billion worth of boats here. I have rethought that, and I reckon there would be 5 billion worth of boats, both here and out at sea where the real big ones dock. I think there's a pretty good chance that one of these drivers will end up on the podium come Sunday here in Monaco. And if they do, they will almost certainly go for a swim in the pool, which is up on top here of the Red Bull station. Now last year, that pool was filled with balls because there were water shortages and they weren't allowed to fill it. But I'm told this year that is definitely full of water. These guys going up the ramp are carrying all Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda's gear, as is evidenced by their names on those bags. Let's now go into the paddock, and that is accessed via these swipe gates. This here is the main congregation area, and unlike something like Bahrain, which would be 20 times the size, that's pretty much it. There's the TV media pen, and on this side is the long walk, which passes all of the hospitality suites. Good to see a fellow Australian join me here, one son of mine. Now most of the drivers will come in on scooters, and this is where they park them. So already we have Logan Sargent on this one and Alex Albon on the other. 2 of them in well prior to the press conferences, which kick off at 2:30. The paddock is just there, and here is our media centre, as is evidenced by a sign. And it's a simple 2-flight of stairs trip up to what is a very basic media centre, having come from Imola, where we get beautiful food for lunch and dinner. Here it's rudimentary. So this is photographers lining up to get their passes, but I'll take you into our area, which is a little dungeon-like room through the back here. Security, police dogs, they're checking things out, and this is where I work. After what was quite a beautiful morning, the rain set in, but thankfully now it looks like to be clearing. But where I'm standing here is actually public area, and you might be able to see behind me people are enjoying a meal, and you don't need a special ticket to get there today. At the moment the press conference is going on, and the drivers came in while it was raining, so we had the likes of Max and George holding their own umbrella. Who else? Albon wasn't holding his brolly, and neither was Esteban Ocon, but don't be reading anything into that. So I'm standing at the swipe gate entry, and behind me you can see some fans behind rails there, and same up this end. That's because in a second the drivers will be coming out of this door and heading back into the paddock, and there'll be mass hysteria down there amongst the, I don't know, 70 odd people that have been waiting for some time, including this woman over here who is a mad Esteban Ocon fan. Well, this is very unusual. This is McLaren's motorhome, their hospitality suite. And normally by Thursday morning it's super slick, ready to go. There'll be guests, there'll be drivers heading up in there. But as you can see, it's not, and I can tell you why. It's because there was a crane parked on here, I think on Tuesday, that was taking up that space. So their construction was delayed by something like 12 hours. And hence, what should have been finished last night is still going today. So now I think the drivers are going to be fine because their rooms are up the top there. But as you can see, there's so much. I don't think this is going to be finished until the end of today. Just been told that because of McLaren's delay, Alpine have also been delayed. their suite's not ready. They can't get their people in there to work today. Instead, their crew are working from above the garage over there in pit lane. Now, more on the McLaren motorhome. It's not fit for purpose now, and it probably won't be until maybe 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. But what about feeding their crew? Well, the kitchen had advance warning that things might be tight, so they made extra food in Imola and they've frozen it, so they only need to reheat it for the crew to be served a feed. But the reason they can't finish until tomorrow morning is because there's no way of getting cranes in here now. They can only get cranes in after 7 p.m. and they need those cranes to hoist up the windows that go on the front of this magnificent hospitality suite. I'm standing at the end of one of the finger jetties here in Monaco, and with space being so tight, corporates look for interesting ways to showcase their product. And if I swing around here, that is a Mercedes. They've floated that here with the car on board so that their corporate clients can come out and enjoy a bit of peace and quiet next to a fine motor vehicle. And if you're wondering what model AMG this is, it's just called Pure Speed at the moment. It's impressive. McLaren has a new livery this race. It's mainly yellow, celebrating Ayrton Senna. And there's plenty in the tunnel that goes over the track remembering this man. A couple of nice pics taken today. Esteban Ocon with his girlfriend Flavie Bala. This was one of my most popular pictures today. A couple of people saying that she had great confidence in that top. Have to agree with them. Nico Hulkenberg arrived with his wife Egle and their daughter Noemi. And Nico actually pointed out that his daughter had rather special shoes on. And while I was taking photos of them, I completely missed Charles Leclerc coming the other way. Now, I'm filming this segment at the end of the day, and the sun has come out again. So we had bright sunshine in the morning, a patch of rain in the middle of the day, which required some quick thinking on the part of a number of people to keep themselves dry. And then we had the sun return at the end of the day. I did have a very funny moment with Fernando Alonso. He was coming over the bridge. I took these pictures of him, and then he walked to someone who was standing right next to me and grabbed a pen, signed their autograph, and then he looked at me and with a wry grin said, "1 of 50, Kim?" A reference to some signed prints that he did last week in Imola. I love his sense of humour. He's just a funny guy. Now, I can tell you that security for this man here at this track is quite high because he is very popular, being the hometown hero, and he has somebody walk with him pretty much everywhere he goes, even when it's raining. I'll talk briefly about this team here, McLaren. Their new livery is interesting. It catches me by surprise every time I see one of their crew in those yellow shirts. The car is dramatically different. It'll look great coming out of the tunnel, I reckon. The Senna logo is on the front wing. Speaking of things on cars this weekend, I love this, the Duracell bunny on the Williams car. I always thought that the Duracell sponsorship was one of the best with the battery that sits at the back of the car, but now they've taken it to another level this race, and I wonder what they would have paid to have that on there, because obviously I'm talking about it, a lot of the other media are talking about it, and that's invaluable publicity for Duracell batteries, the sponsor of Williams. Now I'm going out for dinner to probably another Italian restaurant. I've had plenty of Italian food over the last few days, so I'm going to ask you to please like this video and subscribe, and there's a whole lot of other content and stuff here to have a look at. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate!
I can actually video
Oh
this.
goodness!
Right, what are we doing?
We're here from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vegas.
I'm going as a guest of the Las Vegas organizer on Saturday night to the yacht party. Are you on the yacht?
I mean, if you're inviting us.
Oh, okay. I'm a guest. Ready out, let's do your selfie.
Perfect.
Right,
Thank you
well,
so
cheers
much.
to Vegas.
Thank you.
Why don't you all look in here and go
please.
and